Hi, honeys. Welcome to Books and Halls with Michelle. I hope you like my new name on YouTube. My official name on YouTube is still Michele Eskelin, but my page name, just to make it easier to search for me and everything, is Books and Halls with Michelle. My cat Marty keeps walking back and forth across the room. If you see his tail, don't be alarmed. It's just him playing around and having fun, right? Yeah. Do you want to say hi? Mr. Cutie, you gonna say hello? You're not gonna say hi? He's the one that reads with me. He will be up with me for hours at night, and I will be laying in bed reading, and he will be right next to me reading right along. So it's kind of cute that he likes to be a part of these book videos. I am so excited about something, and I want to talk to you real quick about this before I get started on my January book review video. Vont asked me if they could send me a book clip, which is a reading light. I'm so excited that they were willing to work with me on this and send me a light to review. So thank you very much, Vont, for sending me a book light. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. Here's what it looks like. And my friend Kristin, her page name is Kristin Moments of Sanctuary. I'll tag her down below in the description box. She got one of these and I wanted one so bad. Her reviews were so good that I thought I have to have one. And I entered the giveaway and I didn't get it, and I thought, I've got to buy one. And then before I knew it, I was being asked if I could review one. So here I am. I'm happy that they sent this to me. I absolutely love it. It's not too big, and you just touch it here and it lights up. See? It's got 3 settings. And you charge this with a USB cord, so it's really easy to charge, whether it be in the wall, with your laptop, your computer. So obviously this is really easy to put on a hardback book. But I wanted to show you some other things that you can do with it. You can also use it in a medium book. What I do is I just clip it to about 100 pages in the front or back and then read. It's very comfortable. It does light up the whole page, and one charge, they say, I think it was 3 hours that it lasts, but I'm finding it lasts more like 8 hours. And I did take a picture of how much it lights up the page so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just part of the page like so many of these book lights. I mean, look at this. Isn't that crazy? This is an LED light, and you can use it for other things. You could clip it onto things and just anything you need a light for. Here's another cool thing, though. Look at this. I found this just accidentally, but you can just set it down and it will stand up on its own, which I absolutely love. So if I'm in my office, my husband and I share an office, and he doesn't want the light on and I do, I just turn this on my desk, and he doesn't even see it from over where he is. It's wonderful, but it lights up the area that I'm in. Also, if you have one of these little stands for a tablet, you can clip it onto the stand and you can put whatever you want on here. You can put a mass market size book on there and read it that way. You could put recipes or just whatever you want to look at. But I just love the versatility of this. I like that it's lightweight. It's easy to use. I have been using it for about a week now, and if I'm laying in bed, and I like to lay on my stomach or my back when I read, but if I want to turn over and lay on my side, it's not so heavy that I can't do that. Now, if I'm laying on my stomach, I'm talking about reading it like this. I don't know that I would recommend doing this. It might feel a little heavy at that point, but I just absolutely love this. Bont was nice enough to offer to do a giveaway to one of my viewers. What I'm going to do, I will tell you at the end of the video how you can enter the giveaway, and whoever wins will be announced in next week's video, and they will send you a free Booklight. I also wanted to let you know I've got a code. It's M10 Eskelin, and if you use that code, you get 10% off all Vont products. So it doesn't even have to be this Booklight. It can be any of these items as well. Yep, there's a lot of them. So I will put that code down in the description box as well so that you can access it whenever you want to get a Booklight. Or any other kind of light, as you see. On to the month of January book wrap-up. The first book that I read was The Survivors by Jane Harper, and this was my Book of the Month selection for January. If you want to try out Book of the Month, I do have a code down in the description box that you can use that lets them know that you sent me. I think if you use the code, you get a free book, and so do I. The Survivors is about a man named Kieran and his girlfriend and their little newborn baby. They all go back to the town that he and his girlfriend grew up in because his dad has got sick. Pretty familiar prose at this point, but they go back to town and he has to finally face some ghosts from his past. And this book does take place in Australia, which I love. This book has a very slow start. The entire book is just kind of slow and steady, but in a cozy and fascinating way. It does pick up quite a bit the last third of the book, but I did want to forewarn you that it takes a while to get into it because it is just more of a slow-moving, relaxed kind of book. One thing I really didn't like about the book is if the bad guy, the whodunit person, if they didn't tell everything at the end of the book, we would never have known who did it or who the bad guy really was. And I kind of didn't like that. I like it when, because I don't think that's very realistic. How often does the bad guy, you know, or the bad girl, the bad person, how often 20 years later do they suddenly just go, oh, by the way, you know what? You're right, it was me. No, they kept a secret that long. They're going to go to the grave with it, right? So I have to give this 3 stars. I hate to do that. I had really high hopes for it. I've read Jane Harper in the past and really liked some of her books, but this particular one, it was just okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I just felt kind of lukewarm. It was just okay. The next book I read was The Cousins, and this is by Karen M. McManus. This is a YA book. It's about 3 cousins that go to work at their grandma's. It's kind of like a really fancy resort. They go to work there for the summer after receiving these mysterious letters inviting them to come work at the lodge for the summer, which is kind of odd because the entire family had been disowned by grandma over 20 years ago. In this book, they go and they work together to try to figure out what happened, why were their parents disowned, why have they never met their grandma, and that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to do any spoilers or anything. I got into this book immediately. I read it very quickly. I really, really enjoyed it. It had likable, flawed characters. Now, I did say that I thought this was going to be like one of my favorite books, Flowers in the Attic. It was in the sense that grandma disowned her family, but that's where the similarities ended. It was nowhere near as dark or creepy as Flowers in the Attic. This book is not haunting like that. There's a lot of twists, turns, lies, and investigating. And it was really a good book. I give it 4 stars. The only reason I'm not giving it 5 is that I haven't spent much time thinking about it since I read it, and I'm not feeling like I have to keep it for the rest of my life and reread it 20 more times. And for me to give a book 5 stars, it's got to be something I'm willing to reread. But otherwise, it was a really good, solid, quick read. The Winter Sister by Megan Collins. Now, this was also a book of the month selection for me, but it was back in February of 2019. It's been sitting on my TBR stack for that long. It just felt to me like a book I'd already read 100 times, and I wasn't really feeling like reading again, but I decided to go ahead and give it a chance. I mean, why not? Right? It's about a lady named Sylvie who goes back home when her mother gets sick. See what I mean? So many books are about that now. She ends up finally facing her sister's murder, and she tries to solve this 20-year-old cold case. 20 years old? I might be saying 20 because of the last book I talked about, but it's been quite a while since her sister was murdered, and she is going to try to figure out. She's got a lot of issues with her mother, the way she was raised, the town she grew up in, and the fact that her sister was murdered. So she has to face all of that. Now, since this is the kind of story I feel like I'm just visiting and revisiting over and over and over again in so many books, I'm pretty sure that's why I hesitated to pick it up. But now I wish I picked it up sooner because I loved it. I loved it so much. You guys, this book touched me. It really meant a lot to me. I was very invested in it. I could not put it down. It was chilling, it was shocking, it was haunting, and it was nauseating. But it was eerily beautiful at the same time. It had a really interesting take on parent-child relationships. It was a nice reminder that the appearance of things or our perception of them aren't always accurate, and that's not always what happened, or that's not always what someone meant, that's not always where someone was coming from. I like to be reminded of that because I'm really, really talented at assuming I know exactly why people did what they did and maybe holding a grudge for a long time. This book was about healing, and it was also about a very painful fact that we really can't help other people. People have to want to help themselves. We can't really change people. People have to want to change on their own. And sometimes, if you want someone in your life, you just have to accept them for who they are or let them go. But I gave this book 5 stars. I'm reading it again. I loved it. Yes, if you haven't read it, I really recommend it. I wanted to read you a little portion of this because I mentioned that it was eerily beautiful, and the writing that Miss Collins did was really something. So I wanted to just read you this little part here. As you know me, I like to just sit down and really dive into these books that I read and tell you all about what I thought. Okay. Past the church-like town hall with its white columns and wide doors, its steeple that boasted stained glass windows and a thick ticking clock. Large ticking clock. The benches on the town green were covered in snow, so pristine it looked as if someone had laid thick white blankets over them. Doesn't that just make you feel like you're right there? Like you can feel like the coldness of the snow and like the moisture of the snow on the tip of your nose. And I love that kind of writing where I'm like right there. But not too much writing like I'm right there, because then I get bored. I'm very hard to please. The next book I read was 29 Gifts, How a Month of Giving Can Change Your Life by Cami Walker. This book felt so drawn out for me. I wanted to love it. I really did. But it felt like it should have been an article in a women's magazine, and instead it was a book. So it just felt super drawn out. I felt like there was way too many examples of gifts that you can give. But like, I think part of the fun is being creative and figuring out what gifts to get on your own, but so many of the gifts she gave weren't things she bought for people. It was nice things she did for them. I don't particularly feel like that's a mystery to me or like something I need someone to explain to me how to be nice to people. So it was kind of, I didn't like the writing style, and I found the author, her writing style, very hard to relate to. She kind of came off, I hate to say this, hey, it's a book review, I'm being honest. I don't know her personally. It came off as pretentious. She came off as like a snobby, rich, entitled person. Yeah. I mean, maybe she's not, but that's how it came off. What this book is about is this lady named Cami who has MS. And she discovers that if she concentrates on giving to and or helping others, it gets her mind off of her pain and it motivates her to be more active. And that does sound really cool, but shouldn't we be doing that anyway? I just am a big believer of that. I think that no matter what's going on in your life, you should always be trying to figure out how to be nice to other people, how to help other people, how to give back. That's just me. I'm not a martyr by any means, but it just felt kind of, I don't know. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. It also kind of came off like, hi, I wrote a book and I want you to celebrate what a nice person I am now. I'm so nice. I'm going to write down in a book an entire 3 pages about how I opened a door for a complete stranger and they smile back at me. Well, okay. Do we need to acknowledge that and applaud it though? I mean, right? Should we just be doing that anyway? I don't know. It just felt really odd to me. So I was just getting sick of the book. Like I said, the idea of it, the premise of it, it was nice. It was just the way it came across, the way it was written, how drawn out it was just too much for me. So I was thinking, I just don't want to finish this. Should I finish this or shouldn't I finish this? And at that exact moment, Marty goes, dink, and knocks his water over onto the book. And that's why it looks like this. It was so waterlogged. And I thought, I'm going to take that as my sign. I'm not going to finish it. So this is my did not finish book for the month. I don't have them every month, but every once in a while I do. And I gave it 1 star. Because I just told you what I thought. You get it. It's 1 star for me. And it just made me sad because I thought this was going to be one of those books. Ooh, 29 gifts. How to, talking about the art of giving and giving back. I thought this sounds so beautiful. I'm probably going to want to run out and buy 12 copies and give them away as gifts to everybody next year. And instead it was like, just fell flat. But at least I'm honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. The next book that I read was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Brontë. I feel like you guys know what this is about by now. And if you don't, well, maybe you've seen the movie. I guess I should start by saying why I read the book. I had read The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. And I thought, wow, I have to read Jane Eyre, a book in the Victorian era about a similar subject of, this woman falling in love with this guy and finding out there's somebody locked upstairs. What? So I thought that it just sounded awesome because I really loved The Wife Upstairs. Well, all right, let's get into it. The book was beautifully written. Jane is a very strong woman, and she goes after what she wants in life. She will not settle for less. It had really strong early feminism vibes to it, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But there's always a but, isn't there? I hated the relationship between Jane and Mr. Rochester. I didn't think it was romantic at all. I didn't think it was healthy. I was so excited. And there are spoilers here, okay? So just fast forward to the next book if you don't want to hear this. I was so excited when she left. I thought, good. There she is, my strong woman going after what she wants, standing up for what's right. Right? I also did not like the happily ever after with a liar and a cheater. Ah, what? No. The man went around cheating on his wife when she was sick. He didn't take care of her. Hi, when you get married, it's in sickness and in health, till death do us part. And he locks her up in an attic or whatever it was, and goes around cheating on her and pretending that she doesn't exist. Of course she went more mad. I would have too. To me, he's disgusting. He's not this wonderful, amazing man that you just need to go run back to. No, there are other men out there, Jane. But I did feel like the overall theme of the book was go after that which makes you happy. And apparently, what would make me happy is not the same thing as what would make Miss Jane happy. Another theme was that money does not buy you happiness. And it's very easy to feel that way when you have money. But I think a lot of us think an extra 50 grand might make us a little bit happier. Also, stay strong. Even when your life doesn't go your way, stay the course and survive. You will get through it. And if you don't, you'll die. That's what happens. That's life. The other thing about this book was it was super slow in parts. I found myself speed reading through entire chapters of this book. So did I like it? Sure. In some parts I liked it. I loved the writing. I loved the character. I didn't obviously like some of her decisions. But I don't like it when books applaud unhealthy relationships. And that's exactly what this did in my mind. It's like, it's okay. He can do all these horrible things to his wife, which he'll probably eventually do to me. He can lie to me. He can start the whole relationship out on a lie, which I can tell you from past experience, that's just not really the way to start out a relationship. If somebody's lying to you, just walk away. It saves yourself a lot of time and heartache. It had that, it's okay to be abusive emotionally. It's fine. It's okay if somebody lies to you and everybody else. Let's just give them another chance, shall we? No, we shouldn't. So for me, this was a 3-star book. I am planning on reading Wuthering Heights in February. So stay tuned for that. And then the last book that I read was The Missing Sapphire of Zangrabar, a Patricia Fisher mystery by Steve Higgs. So Patricia, in the beginning of the book, has her life fall apart. And she does what any self-respecting person would do. She cashes in all of her savings and decides to hell with it. I'm going to go on an around-the-world cruise. I got to envy that, if I'm honest with you. And I thought, how fun to read a book about a woman on a cruise. And I love cozy mysteries, but sometimes cozy mysteries, even though I love them, they can fall a little bit short for me. Sometimes they just feel so fake. You know, these people live in this perfect little fake world that kind of feels like the 50s or something, or I don't know when. But I like flawed characters, and I got them here in this book. This book was kind of like dry Riesling wine, you know? It was really good, but it wasn't, yeah, it was dry. It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't flowery, but it was funny. It was quick paced, and it was so much more realistic than a lot of the cozies. This woman was struggling. She was overweight. She had a hard time making new friends. She just felt so human to me compared to some of the people that are main characters in a lot of cozies. It was really fun watching the main character, Patricia, grow as a person throughout the book while being invested in her future. The whodunit part was really fun. She ends up getting blamed for something. I don't want to spoil it in case you decide to read it, but she got blamed for something, and so I felt like I was trying to help her clear her name as well. This is a great palate cleanser. That's part of why I had said that I was going to be reading a cozy mystery every month. I also said I would read a classic every month, And one thing about classics is they tend to be real heavy, and I tend to need a good palate cleanser afterwards. And for me, cozy mysteries are the best palate cleansers out there. And that's a huge part of why I decided I would read one every month. And I'm glad I did. I read this right after Jane Eyre, and it just really helped kind of bring me back down to real life and bring me back down to real life, but cheer up again a little bit too, because like I said, a lot of these classics are kind of heavy and deep, and um, I just need some weight taken off my shoulders after reading them. Do you feel like that? This was a great escape from life too. I found myself forgetting about the pandemic. Will we open, won't we? I loved the cruise ship atmosphere, and it was so nice to escape the atmosphere of life right now. I wasn't worried about whether or not anybody was wearing a mask. Did they wash their hands? How many germs were on that banister? Because this was all pre-pandemic. It was just so wonderful. I loved it. It was like I could hear the music. I could smell the food that she was eating. I just felt like I was there with her, and I really loved it. I can't wait to read the next one. So, because of all of this, I'm going to give it 5 stars because I am a huge cozy fanatic. And if I love a cozy mystery, what I'll do is I'll read each one slowly over time. And a couple years later, since I have all the books, I'll just slam right through one after the other. And I know I'll reread it. I am about halfway through The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. So be sure to tune in next month for my review on that. It'll be the last Sunday of the month. It's a bit of a long video, but one thing you'll realize if you decide that you want to stick around and stay a while and spend more time with me, I tend to have longer videos with a little bit of a cozy feel to them. It's just who I am, and especially with book reviews, I like to go a little deeper into what I think, what a book meant, what it didn't mean. I think I've noticed after watching so many book videos over the years, my review style seems to be very different from other people's. So I'm hoping that I am a flavor that you like, and hopefully you will subscribe and stay a while. Okay, about this giveaway for the Booklight that I set down. Here it is. This beautiful Booklight that I love and use every night of my life now. Here's what you got to do. All you have to do is follow me on YouTube. Then you have to go over to Instagram, and when you see this photo on my page, my Instagram handle is Mrs. Burrito Bandito. When you see this photo, down in the comments section below the photo, leave an emoji that is somehow book related. So if you want to do Grapes of Wrath, do a grape emoji and a mad face, or if you want to do Alice in Wonderland, do a bunny rabbit and a cat and a mug of tea or something, just any random thing, but emojis having to do with a book of your choice. That's it. Monday, I'm going to have a video that is titled, sorry, I'm just glancing at my notes here, My Crazy Reading Habits. In that video, I will announce who the winner is. And if you win, I will send you a message on Instagram and let you know that you won. And can I get your address to have Vont send you your Booklight? If you don't have an Instagram account and you still want to enter, that's okay. All you have to do is email me that you would like to enter, and I will put you in the entries as well. My email address is burritobandito77@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you haven't yet, I also have a Goodreads page. I will put the link to that page down in the description box. You are more than welcome to go on Goodreads and become a friend of mine. I love having friends on Goodreads. I love chatting about books on Goodreads. I love you. Bye.